Okay, Bismillah. Let's continue from this page. Last time we started, Shiva. We were just talking about the vertical stretching and shrinking of the graph. So as a picture, you see the multiplying the sign with a number which is greater than 1 is gonna stretch it the up and down, and you will get the image of the red graph, which is this vertical stretching of the sine graph. And if you multiply sine function with a number which is less than 1, so that's going to be the shrinking of the sine graph vertically. So basically these are the a couple of images to show you what is happening to the graph of a function when you multiply by a number depending on the how big is number. So I would like you to look at the graph program on the internet, everybody. So let's just change my screen to another graph program so that we can see what's happening in the graph. Everybody, this is basic a sine function. All right. Is it clearly shown on your side, Shabab? Do you see a graph?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Maybe I should change the color. Okay, maybe let me try to change the color, Shabab. Let me see if this is good for you. How does it look?
Orange.
Orange. It is more appealing. It's more clear on your side.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Any color works.
Okay. Okay, inshallah. Now, Shabab, you see, we have a sine x multiplied by a number a. Okay. So now we have a setup for a. A is changing from 0.5 to 3. Now you will see as we change the a value, you will see how graph is changing, everybody. Okay. So now I'm going to let the a play, in the Desmos graphing. You can do these kind of things to see exactly what's happening, Shabab. So let's a play now and see what's happening to graph, Shabab. You see? So the graph is vertically stretching up and down, depending on the value of a. So let's just change it manually. So I will just move the a value, the slowly, smaller value. You see, Shabab? So let's see if a is 1. Now a is exactly 1 now. That means you see the sine graph, basic sine x. All right. And as you move the a to smaller than 1, you see, Shabab, now you will see how graph is getting, squeezed, right? Now it is a vertical shrinking. It is called vertical shrinking. Now, can you tell me the range of this graph, Shabab?
Yes.
Range.
Negative.
It's from minus half to half.
Yes, exactly. You see? So by looking at the value of a, right? By looking at the value of a, I can easily say what is the range of the function. Well, let me increase the value of a, Shabab. You see what's happening, right? Now this is a equals 2, Shabab. So did you notice that the x-intercept points are not changing, right? X-intercept points and these points are not changing. You see that?
Yeah.
These x-intercept points are always the same. They're not changing.
And the y values are changing.
Yes, you see, Shabab, y values are changing. So let me just increase more and more. You see now, what is the range, Shabab?
-2 to 3.
Exactly. All right. Exactly.
Doctor,
Yes.
just a question.
Yeah.
If the graph has no certain domain, then the value of the range doesn't depend on the x at all. So if x minus 1, x plus 1 doesn't matter as long as the a is present.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, in this question, the domain is all real numbers, of course, all the angles, basically. So, okay, now we understood what's happening. I can change the sine into cosine for you. It is easy, Shabab. Let me write instead of sine, I can write cosine for you. Cosine. Cosine function. Well, of course, cosine is going to start from up here, right? Cosine start from top here and then goes down and up and down. It's just like a sine graph, of course. It's a wave function. And similar things, if you multiply cosine function with a number, so as the a changes, right? So it will shrink or it will stretch, you know, depends on what is the number a, Shabab.
But doctor, in this case, pi over 2 is always 0, not pi. The pi are moving up and down.
What is moving, Shabab?
It's the opposite in sign.
Yes.
In the middle
Yes.
doesn't move, but the one that doesn't move in sign is moving.
Yeah. So, so we have it fixed points here. It is not moving. You see pi over 2, you see 3 pi over 2, they are not changing. You know, the x-intercept points, x-intercepts are not changing, Shabab. It's just the, you know, the y value is changing. Okay. All right, Shabab. So looks like this is easy to realize what's happening. The vertical stretching and shrinking, so we can see what's happening to image, everybody. All right. Now let's go back to our lectures. Sure. Let's change our. All right. So now the a value here. So a value, if it is negative, of course, it just reflects the graph upside down, you know, the across the x-axis. So the absolute value of this a value, we will call it amplitude of the function. So basically, it is kind of the height of the wave, everybody. So it is height of the wave, or you can say it is the half of the distance between the maximum and the minimum value. All right, it is the minimum is -2 and maximum is 2 in this. We are looking at the red graph. Huh? So what is the distance? 4, right, Shiva? Distance is 4. So half of the 4 is 2, of course. All right.
Doctor,
Yes.
the amplitude is from the x-axis to the highest point.
So it is, yeah, you can say from the x-axis to the highest point in this graph.
Yeah, so it's not from the lowest point to the highest point.
No, it is the half of the distance From negative 2 to 2, what is the distance? 4, right?
Yes.
So half of the 4 is 2.
2, yes.
Yes.
Doctor?
To make it, you know,
Yeah.
to make it quick, Shabab, we just look at this number. So take the positive of the number. So that's why we put the absolute value here. Yes, Shabab?
Doctor, if the A has an exponent, then we can't get the amplitude like this, right?
Yeah. A has an exponent.
Yeah. To the power
Well,
something.
Whatever, yeah, it is. If it is 2 squared, that means it is 4. So the amplitude is 4, Shabab.
X squared.
And
Okay,
this
that's
x,
it.
sine of x squared. Well, yeah, there are complicated things. Will be different, of course. We will not go into that detail, Shabab. Yeah, we are not going to go that detail, actually. Okay, so now the vertical shrinking and stretching is clear, I guess. And also we understand how is range changing, right, Shabab? Depending on the, you know, the number A. And we notice that the x-intercept is not changing during the, you know, vertical stretching or shrinking. All right. In the next, we have a example. So we have negative 3 times cosine of x. Well, if you look at the cosine of x in the, you know, as in the blue color, so the amplitude of this new function is going to be 3, of course. So when you multiply the cosine x with negative 3, of course, it will reflect, and also it stretches up and down. So when you reflect, of course, instead of going to up to 3 here, you need to start from negative 3 here. All right. So it will start from negative 3 and it will go up, everybody, and just go down. So this will give you the one full period of this picture. So, and now what is the range again? The important question. Range is from negative 3 to 3, right? Yeah. From negative 3 to 3.
Yeah.
So this number is negative number or positive number. It doesn't matter, Shabab. The range is between negative and positive of this number, okay? So we have negative 3, so the range is between negative 3 and 3. If this is 3, again, range is from negative 3 to 3. All right. Okay. So,
Doctor,
yeah.
is there an order for operations on the functions?
You mean the first I should multiply by negative and then I should
Yes.
multiply by 3?
Yeah.
So
What should we start first?
Well, it doesn't matter. You just need to understand whenever you see the negative, that means it's an upside down.
No, not in this example. I mean in any example, in general.
So to sketch the graph, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, to sketch the graph, when you see the negative, so you will not start from the top here, you will start from the below here, from negative 3. If it is positive 3, you will start from the 3, okay?
Yeah, but I mean not in this example. I mean in any example. Like,
Yes.
Is there an order? For example, we have to start from translating x, then stretching. Is there an order?
Yeah, here we do not have a translation right or left. We have only the stretching and reflection. So whichever you do first, it doesn't matter, Shabab. Yes, it doesn't matter. You reflect across the x-axis first and then multiply by 3. It doesn't matter.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, it doesn't matter. Yes. Okay. Now here, what happens, Shabab, if you have sine of kx? You see? Now we are changing x with kx, sine or cosine. So what happens? So why don't we go to, again, Desmos graphing program and see what is happening there, everybody. So let's see if we have the same function with a kx here. Okay. So let me change the my screen to Desmos. All right. Now, everybody, we have cosine of kx. You see that? Cosine of kx. Now, k is going to change from, maybe let me change the k, the limits. Let's say k will be minimum 0.5, right? And let's say maximum is maybe 2. Okay? So what happens to the function? Let's say make this step slowly, actually. Now, let's play the k, Shabab, and see what's happening to cosine graph.
The period will
Yeah, let's play the k now. You see? So what is happening if k is getting bigger, Shabab? If k is bigger than 1, what is happening?
It will shrink.
Shrinking.
Shrinking.
Horizontal shrinking.
Horizontal shrinking. But if k is less than 1, what's happening?
Horizontal stretch.
Okay.
Horizontal stretching. All right. That is what happens to a picture, Shabab. So now who's going to tell me what is not changing here?
Range.
The y
Range
values.
is not changing.
Range,
Exactly. Range is not changing. So what is changing then, Shabab? Period.
The stretching and
Period is changing.
The x-intercepts too.
Yes, x-intercepts are changing, of course. You see? All right. That is the effect of a kx. If you have, instead of x, if you have the kx, then as you change the k, the graph will stretch or shrink horizontally, everybody, by keeping the range a constant. Range is not changing. So, of course, it will, one of the major change, Shabab, it will change the range, I mean the period of the function. It will change the period of the function. Remember, what is the image of cosine 1 period, Shabab? It is, one coffee cup image, right, Shabab? So it is stopping somewhere, after pi, maybe here in this picture, of course. But as you move the k to slower, this is smaller and smaller value, that means you are getting the larger period. Now, the one period of the cosine image, in this case, we have from here and up to here, you see? Now, the period is even greater than 2 pi. You see that, Shabab? So, as k gets smaller, then the period gets larger. Now, so how do we calculate the period of this new function, everybody? Let's see, how do we calculate it? Let's change our screen. So if you have a kx here, sine or cosine, so we are going to divide the 2 pi by k to find the new period for the new function. So new period is 2 pi divided by k. Well, if k is 2, as you see in this picture, we have y equals sine of 2x. As you understood from the graphing program, you know, it is a shrinking effect. You know, you see, it is horizontally shrunk horizontally, right? So now, before it was the black graph, everybody. Black is the normal sine x, so the period is 2 pi. But now it is pi for the sine of 2x. You see, it is one period. If you go the bubble up and one bubble down, everybody, this is the one period of sine image, right? So it just the going up and going down, Shabab, like this. This is just one period of sine graph, Shabab. And as you see, it is stopping at pi. You see? But normal, the normal sine function, it starts from the origin, right, Shabab? It goes up and stops here, huh, Shabab? 2 pi. This is one period. But now what happens to sine of half x? Well, sine of half x, as you see, it's a long stretched graph, right? So now this is the one period for the sine of half x. Right? So the one period of sine of half x is 4 pi, as you see. All right. So we call it horizontal stretching of the function. Replacing x with 2x or half x will cause stretching or shrinking, you know, depending on the value of k, Shabab. All right. Is this clear, Shabab? Can we move on now?
The period for the half x is 4 pi.
Yes, you see, period is 4 pi.
So it's how determine that?
Yeah,
You
here
need 4 pi to make it 2 pi.
you
Oh,
see
okay,
here.
okay. Yeah.
You
Okay,
see
divided by 2 pi. Yeah.
Divide 2 pi divided by
k.
half, right?
Yeah, it will
be
become 4 pi. Yes.
Exactly. Exactly. Perfect. Okay. The next question is, we see a graph of cosine 4 cosine 3x. Okay. Let's see these standard questions, Shabab. What is the amplitude? Amplitude is absolute value of 4, which is 4. Okay. Just, you know, don't forget. The period is 2 pi divided by k. What is k here? 3. So period is 2 pi over 3. So basically, Shabab, it is going to start from the 4 here. You see this top point here. So you will just sketch, you know, one cosine image, which is just like a coffee cup, as I told you, right? So it is the one period, Shabab. So from the origin, from the 0 to 2 pi over 3, that is your one periodic image. All right. Well,
Doctor.
yeah.
So just to rephrase, to solve
Yeah.
this question, to find the amplitude, it's just A, and
Yeah,
to find
this
the
is
period,
absolute value of A, Shabab.
absolute value. Okay, and to
Yeah.
find the period is just 2 pi over k, which is in this
Exactly.
period. That's it.
Exactly.
The
Yes,
same goes
2
for
pi.
sine. The same goes for sine. The same rules.
Yes, it's the same thing for the sine, everybody.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Now, you see, from the, yes, Shabab?
just we need to decide what A and what is the period. Just that.
Yes.
And the rest of it, we sketch it from the points
Exactly.
of on the X
Exactly.
and yeah. Okay.
So from the 0, everybody, let's put the 0 here. So from this point to from the 0 to the 2 pi over 3, this is one period, Shabab. You understand? One period. Now I have to find these important points. What are those points, Shabab? Those points are, you see, one point here. Another point is pi over 3. We will see how to find the pi over 3, and this point. Now we have 4 small intervals with the same length, everybody. Okay, let me just use the red. So this one interval here, another is here, right? Another is here, 3, and finally 4 intervals. So total is going to be how much, everybody? Total length
4.
is 2 pi over 3, right, Shabab? Total.
Yes,
4
sir.
of them, you see, 4 of them is equal to 2 pi over 3. So how much is the length of each interval, Shabab? Can you tell me?
2 pi over 12.
5 or 6.
Right? So 4 of them equal 2 pi over 3. How much is one of them only?
5 or 6.
We divide
Yes.
over
Divided
4.
by 4.
Yeah,
Yes.
divide by 4.
Yes. Divide the period by 4. It will give you the pi over 6, huh, everybody? Exactly. So then now you can find this important point here. This is pi over 6, everybody. And another pi over 6, right? Pi over 6 plus pi over 6 will be pi over 3. Well, another pi over 6, that means 3 pi over 6, right? 1, 2, 3 pi over 6, how much?
Pi over 2.
Exactly. This is pi over 2.
So,
11.
And now another pi over 6, it will be 4 pi over 6, yani 2 pi over 6.
3.
Exactly. So we finished the one period, Shabab.
so doctor, this is the length of a quarter a period?
Yes. You
Yes,
see?
okay.
Length of quarter periods, right? So now who's going to tell me, Shabab, this point here?
Pi over 6.
How many pi over 6 here, Shabab? 1, 2, 3, 4.
5.
5 pi over
Should be
6.
5.
Perfect. So it is easy to find, Shabab. 5 pi over 6. Well, how about this one, you see?
Pi.
How about this point?
Pi.
Right?
Yeah, 1 pi.
6
pi.
pi
6
over
pi over
6
6,
is,
which is 1 pi.
yes, let me just write only pi. Now you understood perfectly. 6 pi over 6 means pi, Shabab, only, so? And let me ask this one, Shabab, here. Who's going to tell me that?
Minus pi
Negative
over 6.
5 or 6.
Negative pi over 6. Perfect. And how about this last one here, Shabab?
Minus pi over 3.
Yes, negative pi over 3. Perfect. All right. Now, why is these points are that much important, Shabab? Why these points are that much important? Well, because if I ask you, where is graph below the x-axis? So how are you going to answer the question?
We can say from 6 from pi over 6 to pi over 2.
You see?
Yeah.
So from pi over 6 to pi over 2, graph is below. You see? Where is graph above the x-axis? So how do you answer?
From minus pi over 6 to pi over 6.
You see? Also from pi over 2 to 5 pi over 6, right?
Yes.
You see? So you must know these points so that you can answer these questions. Well, another question, Shabab. Where is graph increasing? Who's going to tell me?
Get 5 or 6 to 0.
Minus pi over 6 to 0.
Increasing. From
From minus pi over 3 to 0.
0, increasing.
And from pi over 3 to 2 pi over 3.
Exactly. Increasing, right, Shabab?
Yes.
All right. Now I guess you realized how important is these points, huh, Shabab?
But sir,
Yeah.
but the graph it has like an infinite domain, right?
Yes.
So it will increase in different intervals.
Of course. Yes. Of course. So in the exam or in the quiz, Shabab, we will give you the certain domain to sketch the graph. For example, if I ask you sketch the graph of this function from negative pi over 6 to pi over 2, for example. All right, then you need to sketch from negative pi over 6 to pi over 2 only. And then you can answer the question, where is increasing, where is decreasing between negative pi over 6 and pi over 2, Shabab. All right, so we will give you a certain interval to sketch the graph. All right. And now in this one, let's see, everybody, it is clearly the negative 2 sine of half x. So the amplitude will be absolute value of negative 2, which is positive 2, of course, amplitude. The period is 2 pi divided by half, as you see, Shabab, right? So which is 4 pi. And now you're going to start from the origin, everybody. Start from the origin. And you need to go down to sketch this sine graph because it is multiplied by negative, right? It is multiplied by negative. So you're not going to move up, you're going to move down. So from the 0, so this 4 pi will be the one period of this picture, one period.
Doctor,
Yeah.
how does the cos have a negative? How will the cos change if it's negative? The graph of the cos.
Graph is going to turn upside down, right? The reflection across the x-axis.
Even for the cos?
Even
for the cos?
Even for the cosine, yes, the same thing. All right.
So,
now, Shabab, yes.
So if the negative sign was with the x or with the function, it will not differ, right?
So sine is odd function. So if you have negative x, it will come out, right, Shabab?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Perfect. Okay. Now, in this case, period is 4 pi, everybody. Remember, we divide the period by 4, right? We divide the period by 4. When you divide the period by 4, you will get pi, right? So that means it is the length of each interval. Here it is 0. So this is pi, another pi is 2 pi, another pi is 3 pi, and another pi is 4 pi. So this is quite simple to find those important points.
Sir,
Yes.
how do we get the period again?
Yes, who's going to help your friend, Shabab? How did we get the period?
It's
2 pi
2 pi over k.
over k.
Yes, we are dividing 2 pi by the coefficient of x, right? معامل x, Shabab. Coefficient of x. All right. Okay, so now let's see what's happening for the horizontal moving, Shabab. Horizontal shifting right and left. Let's remember what was the rule of horizontal shifting, Shabab. If you replace x with x minus 1, let's remember math is 0, 0, 1, Shabab. Suppose you change x with x minus 1. What happened to graph? Do you remember?
1 unit to the right.
Yes.
1 unit.
1 unit right. Exactly. If you have
Yeah.
x plus 1, what happens?
1 unit to the left.
Exactly.
Left.
Exactly. 1 unit left. So which is called horizontal shifting or phase shift, as you remember, right? Phase shift. So we will follow the exactly same principle of this basic, transformations of graph. All right. So let's see what's happening here, Shabab. Now we have a 3 times sine of 2 times x minus pi over 4. Well, again, how do we find the amplitude? Well, amplitude is absolute value of 3, which is 3, right? How do we find the phase shift, Shabab? Phase shift is, yani horizontal shift is pi over 4 unit right, right? Because it is x minus pi over 4. So you're going to move right pi over 4 unit. And how do you find the period again, Shabab? 2 pi divided by coefficient of x, right? Which is what? You have 2x here. Do you see that? You have 2x. So we have 2 pi divided by 2 is pi. So period of this function is pi, Shabab. So is this clear? That somebody also asked, how do you find the period or the things? Right? So to just make sure you will not forget, Shabab, I just put this image for you so that every time you forget, you just refer to this page.
Doctor,
Now we know the, yes, question?
every interval we move pi over 4, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We will see how to move pi over 4 units, Shabab.
Okay.
Doctor,
Yes.
why he put the coefficient of x outside the parentheses?
Yeah, to see if you have x minus b, right? You need to just look at the form, you see? Like this, Shabab. K times x minus b. Like this. Just follow the form, huh, Shabab? So when you write a k times x minus b, you will see the horizontal shift. Okay? All right. Now, let's remember, how did we sketch the sine graph, Shabab? Well, sine graph starts from the origin, right? But now I'm not going to start from origin. I have to go to right. How much right, Shabab? Pi over 4
Pi
unit
over
right.
4.
Exactly. So I will start from pi over 4. You see, Shabab? So I will start from pi over 4. Instead of origin, start from pi over 4. And now just imagine basic sine graph, Shabab. What was that? It was just one bubble up, right, Shabab? And one bubble down here. So this is the one period of sine image. You understand? So I am starting from pi over 4. So up and down. This is one period. Okay. Now once you understand this one, so you see, Shabab, from the pi over 4 to the last point here, it is one period. Well, I know the period is pi, right? We calculated. So period is pi. Well, first point is pi over 4. This last point will be 5 pi over 4. Can anybody tell me how did I find this 5 pi over 4?
Because you added 2 pi.
Yeah, pi over 4.
Yeah.
This distance is pi. How do you get this number? Well, pi over
Pi
4
over 4 plus 5 plus pi.
plus pi is
Add
5 pi over 4. Correct? Right, Shiva?
Yes.
Okay.
And we can subtract it, will become pi.
Yeah, this distance should be one period, Shiva. Distance is one period. Okay.
Doctor,
Yes.
I have a question. If the k was inside the brackets, so it was
So you need to-
3.
Yeah,
So it was
take
3
outside.
sine 2x.
Yes, we will take it outside in the next example, inshallah, Shabab. Just wait for this one. Now, who's going to tell me how to find this next number, pi over 2? So how did I find the pi over 2?
Pi over 4 plus pi over 4, because it's one interval.
Yes, you see, Shabab, each interval is how much?
Pi over 4.
Pi over 4. Because total is period pi. So each interval is pi over 4. So pi over 4 plus pi over 4 is pi over 2. Pi over 2 plus pi over 4 is 3 pi over 4. 3 pi over 4 plus pi over 4 is pi, right? And pi plus pi over 4 is 5 pi over 4. That is how we find these important points, Shabab. Well, maybe somebody wants to find a little more points, right? So how are we going to find this point now, Shabab? This last one.
I'm 6 over 2. 6 over 4 pi.
6 pi over 4, right?
Yes.
6 pi over 4. Of course, you can write it as 2 pi over 3, 3 pi over 2, right? If you like.
Yes.
You can simplify if you like. Well, and then this is 0, of course, origin, right, Shabab? And you see the distance is again pi over 4 here. And if you continue to the negative side, let's go to the negative side a little bit. Let me use the blue color so you see what's happening
Minus
here.
pi over 4.
Minus pi over 4.
You see, Shabab? Because in the exam, maybe we will ask you to sketch little bit to the left side and little bit to the right side, right? You should know how to go to right and left. Well, here, this is negative pi over 4, Shabab. Perfect.
Doctor,
Yes.
is k in this case 2?
Yes, k is 2, Shabab. You see? Now, it is a practice for you, Shabab. Just imagine where is graph above the x-axis, where is graph below the x-axis, where is graph increasing, right, Shabab? Where is graph decreasing? So get ready for these kind of questions, Shabab. All right? And here is the, somebody was asking, what do we do if you have this 2x here? Of course, when you have a 2x plus 2 pi over 3, you need to take 2 as a common factor. So you will get x plus pi over 3 here, Shabab. Right? You take the 2 out, so you will get 2 times x plus pi over 3. Huh? Now, understood, Shabab? Who was asking this question?
So the 2 is k.
Yes.
Yes.
Doctor,
Now,
thank
I mean, k is 2, of course. You know, k is 2. Khalas, how is the graph? Of course, amplitude is, as you remember, amplitude is 3 over 4. Sah, Shabab? And how do you find the period? Period is 2 pi divided by 2, which is pi. Huh, Shabab? And what is the shift?
Minus pi over 3 to the right. To the
Yes.
left.
Pi over 3.
Pi over 3 unit left. Yani phase shift is negative pi over 3. Horizontal shift is negative pi over 3, Shabab. Okay. Okay, let's see how is the graph, Shabab. Well, let's remember where the cosine starts. Well, cosine starts from here, right? Normally. But now I cannot
Starts from pi over 3.
You go to left. Shuf, Shabab. I'm going to left. How many units? Pi over 3 units to the left. So this number is pi over 3 here. Okay? And then you just need to remember cosine image, Shabab. All right? This is the cosine image that should be in your mind, Shabab. You must remember the cosine image and the sine image. Otherwise, you cannot do anything, Shabab. All right? Make sure you remember the basic image of sine and cosine. Now, this is the one period of the cosine image, Shabab. Well, the first number, we already know it is negative pi over 3. How about the last number? How did I find the last number? 2 pi over 3.
We added 2 pi.
The
we
period
add
to the shift.
Period, right? So the distance is pi. So if you know the first number, how do you find the last number? You need to add pi. Negative pi over 3 plus pi is 2 pi over 3, of course.
And doctor, how much we add for each interval?
Who's going to tell me what is the length of each interval, Shabab?
Divide the period by 4.
All right. Right, Shabab? Each interval is pi over 4, the length, right?
4.
Pi over 4. Now, how did I find the negative pi over 12? Well,
you add pi over 4.
Yes. Negative pi over 3 plus pi over 4 is going to be negative pi over 12.
Doctor, but if there is no 2x, or like there k is 1, let's say, you would have to add 2 pi to find the last number?
Yes. If the period is 2 pi, you need to add 2 pi. Yes.
Okay.
Very good. Yes. And now just keep adding pi over 4. Keep adding pi over 4 to find the next number. Add pi over 4 to find the next number. Add it, find the next number. Well, maybe we like to go more. You see, Shabab? Let's sketch a little bit more here. Maybe this much. So how about this point, Shabab? Who's going to tell me that point?
It's 2 pi over 3 plus pi over 4.
Okay, perfect.
But how much?
Yeah.
What? How much, Shabab?
You have to cross multiply.
How much?
11 over 12. 11 pi over 12.
11 pi over 12. Perfect.
Good.
Now, again, classic question. Where is function increasing? Where is function decreasing? Where is the graph below the x-axis? Where is graph above the x-axis? These standard questions, Shabab.
Thank you.
I guess we finished the time. Looks like I So inshallah, I will go through the special cases in the next
Yeah.
meeting. So
Inshallah.
maybe I should mark it here. So we'll continue from this page, Shabab.
Thank you very
Doctor?
much, Doctor.
Doctor, if we have a question, for example, where is the graph decreasing, or where is the graph below x-axis? Can we make the function less than 0 as an equality?
Yeah. Well, that's going to be a quite challenging question for you. Can you find out without sketching the graph, huh? That is your question.
Yeah. Yes, without sketching. Just
Yeah.
put an inequality less than 0.
Yes. But so do we know how to solve it? That is a challenging question, Shabab. So for us to make it easy, you better know how to sketch the graph. For some simple cases, it is maybe easy to find without sketching the graph, but it requires a good, solid math background so that you will not get confused, Shabab. That is not quite easy for you guys.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
So I strongly recommend to just sketch this basic picture to see where is below, where is above, Shabab.
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
Yes. Nice
Doctor,
to meet you today. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, inshallah.
inshallah. Doctor, so when is the confirmed date of the quiz? Because it hasn't been clear.